Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. You have made it to build number 59. So 59 and 60, we are very close to finishing out this series. Thank you so much for joining me. So we're actually going to step back just a bit today and keep things a little bit more mellow. We are going to focus on core and flexibility. The last couple of days have been a little bit higher intensity, and tomorrow our finishing day is going to be a little bit higher intensity. So we are going to gear up for that. Plus, I kind of went back through and wanted to see what we had worked on a lot of and what I wanted to make sure to build in just a little bit more before we finish out the series. And core, we've definitely done a lot of, but flexibility, we haven't done a ton of focus there. So I have an 8 kilogram and a 12 kilogram kettlebell that I'm going to be using today. You can use a dumbbell just fine. And we are going to be starting with some flexibility for warm up. So I'm going to just have you grab your hands behind the back, stand nice and comfortable. Your feet are going to be just hip width, straight ahead on the ground. And lift your chest and then exhale, let it lower. One more time like that. So I just want you to kind of connect with the breath, and then we're going to start rolling your head. So pull your right ear to right shoulder, and then tuck your chin in and let it come all the way over left ear to left shoulder. Back just as far as feels good for you, and then tuck in again. And then again. Change the direction of your clasp of hands behind your back. So just switch it up. Open your chest a little bit more. Roll to one side. And then back. One more time each side. All right, stick with that breath. We're going to take our arms all the way up. Inhale nice and high, and then pull on your left arm and exhale, drag it over. So you're going to lean to the right, pulling that left arm. Inhale to center. Grab your right arm. Exhale and pull to the left. Inhale back to center from your hip creases. So find those hip creases, hinge forward over those legs. Bend your right knee and then the left. No worries if you're not touching the ground. It may be helpful to start bringing something with you just to have on the ready. You can use a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a pillow, a block. If reaching the ground doesn't work for you, you can bring the ground up to you. Sometimes it's nice just to kind of have that support. All right, go ahead and face your mat on your hands and knees. We're going to start with a child's pose. So pull your knees super wide, big toes together. Reach your arms nice and far forward. So along with flexibility, it's really important to focus on your breath. So if you're getting your body into a position that's uncomfortable, it's going to be tough to manage your deep and even breathing. But we want to make sure that we can keep that breath even, deep, and the body relaxed so that it can sink into and relax into the stretch. If it's freaking out or rigid, it's not going to get the best part of the stretch. Plant into your hands, bring your chest forward, open the chest. And then now we're going to keep our knees together, feet together. Bring your body back like it just was. See if you can get your forehead back on the ground, but now your feet are together and your knees are together. And then bring your arms behind. Let the backs of your palms just rest on the ground. All right. Let's flip it over onto our backs. We're going to hug both knees into the chest. See if you can keep your knees touching one another as close as possible. Take a couple breaths here and then start just circling your knees around to the left and then circle them to the right. Okay, and then lift your head and shoulders. So I want you to tuck yourself into a tight little egg, tight little ball. Pull the belly button in, down toward the ground, tuck in, chin tucks in. Now we're going to wrap our hands around your left knee. Keep tucking in, extend your right leg long. So let's go ahead and start building some flexion within our stretching. So I want you to tuck that left knee in, really extend the right leg out, but flex into that thigh, flex into your core. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. Keep it going here. Feel free to go at your own pace if you want to slow it down or if you want to speed it up. Okay, now we're just going to switch so that our leg is long. Pull that leg back. Make sure the belly stays strong. Make sure that you can keep your quad flexed. Tighten up through that core. Make sure your chin's tucked in. You don't want to have tension on your neck. How much stretch can you get into that thigh? Grab behind your thigh or your calf. If it's super tight, giving a little pulse can sometimes help. Good job. We're going to go 3, 2, and 1. All right. Rest your head on the ground. Set your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Put your palms out in a T. Lower your knees to the left. Take a breath. Bring your legs up to the middle. Now lower your knees to the right. Take a breath. And then up to the middle. All right. Take your right foot, your right ankle, and cross it over your left knee. Go ahead and let your knee drop out away from you toward the floor. You're going to put your left hand behind your head. So really support your head and neck. Push your low back into the ground, tighten across that rib cage. You're going to pull your left elbow toward your right knee using the core. Okay, so really think about what's going on here. I see people fly through this. You lose so much activation. And another great part about this figure 4 twist is the rotation in the back, that mid back, your thoracic spine. We're just at 5. We're going to go to 10. Just like we do with our concentrated crunches, I want you to really feel flexion both directions of the move. So as you lower back down, flex in. 7. Make sure that knee is still pulling away from you. 9 and 10. All right, on to the other side. Put your left foot on top of the right knee. Let that knee drop away from you. Plant your head into your hand, and then pull. 2. You should feel the heat in the side you're twisting into. 5. Flexing both directions of the move. Remember, your hand's there to rest the head into, not yank on your head. Your flexion of the core, how much heat you end up with, is really up to you, right? So keeping your own self-flexion, both directions of the move, that's your job. You're deciding how much. All right, there's our 10. Nicely done. Okay, moving on into a tabletop wipers. We're going to make our tabletop legs. Put your arms out nice and wide into a T. Flex here. So before we even start moving, I want you to see if you can build some flexion into the core. Can you feel the heat? It should be fairly easy because we just got out of those crunches. So now slowly lower your knees to the left. Grab your core, right? And hold just a split second. So my knees are not relaxed. I'm using my core to hold. And then I want you to bring your legs back up to the middle and lower to the right. Hold about, 4 to 6 inches off the ground. And then bring back up. That's 2. We're going to go to 10. Lower. Hold. Try to keep your opposite shoulder on the ground. Again, your amount of activation is up to you. Hold. And bring back. Rotate. Flex. Contract. Bring it back. And lower. Flex. Contract. Make sure that your feet are flexed and that your shins are not dropping toward your thighs, right? So through the middle, you still have that tabletop with your legs as opposed to coming through center with your feet down, right? Keep your knees together. Flex, 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 flex. Ooh. Tighten down. Remember, core activation, all right, bring it to middle, is wrapping around the entire trunk, the entire torso. Last time on this side, really dig in, tighten up, bring it to the middle. And then last time on the right, dig in, dig in, dig in, find that little sweet spot, that burn point, and then bring to middle. Perfect. All right, we are going to go into a Pilates roll up. Okay, so if coming all the way up from the ground doesn't work for you, I'm going to have you start from the top side. So extend your legs long, extend your arms long. You get to relax here. Your low back can come up off the ground. That's your natural low back arch. That's totally fine, especially with your legs long on the ground. It's going to come up off the ground. Enjoy this little stretch. Take a deep inhale with your exhale. Tuck in, push your low back toward the ground, roll up, and then reach all the way forward. So if that didn't work for you, I want you to just start from the top, roll back, find that sticky point. Okay, I won't be able to come back further from there. And that's your point, okay? Roll it in. You decide your range. Extend back. Our goal is to try not to use momentum. Now, you might have to use a little momentum. That's okay. But over time, we want to try to cut that out. Scoop through the core. I usually start shimmying back. This is kind of a walking crunch, walking roll up. There's 4. Tuck that chin, scoop with the belly. 5. You want to create that C curve as you come up and lower back down. Losing my shorts. Tuck that chin. 8. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Drive that low back into the ground. 9. And 10. All right, enjoy a little extra stretch over those legs here. Slide those shoulder blades down. Still engage the core. All right, and then lower back down. We're going to move into a dead bug. All right, slide that low back down. Again, find your tabletop legs. We're going to hold here a couple seconds again. I want you to find your flexions and connections. I think we just start sliding into our dead bug super fast and we miss a lot of what our dead bug has to offer. All right, so tighten down, slide those shoulder blades in, wrap through your trunk and your rib cage. Extend, inhale, exhale, come back. So try to link your breath to movement here. 1. We're flexed in as much as possible. 2. 3. Good. Tighten in under that rib cage. 4. At your extension, feel that quad lock again. Feel that shoulder blade stay set in. And then double check that low back staying in the ground. My core is on fire. I hope yours is too. You decide, you get what you came for. Reach, 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 contract, pull back. If you want more intensity, you figure out the story and set into it to build it in. I think we're already at 10, but just in case, we're going to do this last one. Ugh. All right, hug those knees into the chest, roll up, and we get to flip over. All right, come on up into your forward fold. We're going to hinge over those legs, bend your right knee, bend your left, bend your right knee, bend your left. From here, spread your fingertips. We're going to walk all the way forward out into a downward facing dog. So let's set up our down dog first. See if you can hide your heels behind your ankles and slide your chest back toward your thighs. If you're really tight in the hamstrings, you're going to end up more forward, right? So you're going to kind of have a poor, kind of droopy down dog. So if your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees and press your chest back. So we want to try to get our ears inside our arms. Then you can try straightening the legs, but only straighten so far as you can keep your ears inside of your biceps. Grab your belly button toward the spine. We're going to hinge forward, set into that plank, wrap it around, and then inhale, push back. So really envision, we're going forward and back here. Really envision that you're using your abdomen, the core, the belly, to push and pull. So just like you do with a cat-cow, how you pull through the belly, both directions, that's what we want to go for here. Exhale, sink, set. How much flexion can you get? Exhale forward, hollow out the armpits. Feel that kind of torque in your elbows. So your elbows are pulling back toward your toes. Belly stays strong, right? So we want to try to get the ears inside the biceps, but I also want to make sure that we don't lose the core. So what that would look like is when we're back, our tailbone arches, right? And our low back sways. So I want you to get that little tug, that tailbone points kind of straight back. It doesn't curl up toward the back of your head. Tighten in. Flex it up. Let's do 3 more. 3. 2. Take all of your awareness to the core. Last one. Let's hold here a second. Tighten in. Hold it strong. All right, and then walk your toes up to your hands. Perfect. All right, come all the way to standing. It's time to grab our weight and get going there. Okay, so I'm going to go with my lighter kettlebell, and we are going to hit up our pyramid hinge. Definitely been hitting these recently. I think that they're such a great combo move: mobility, flexibility, and core strength. So what you're going to do is start with your bell. You can totally hold a dumbbell or no weight. And also, if holding your weight up overhead is not the best idea for you, feel free to hold it in the lower hand, okay? So if your right arm holds the weight up, your left foot straight ahead, and your right heel is right in a line behind your left heel with your foot at an angle. So I want you to start facing straight ahead. Grab your core, grab your lat, all through the back, the muscles behind your armpit. I want you to rotate, drop in just as far as works for you, and then come back up, full rotation. Tighten through the rib cage, flex into the lat. Make sure you get your rotations. There's 3. We're going to go for 10. You have to learn how to rotate through that shoulder blade on the arm that's up, whether or not you're holding weight. Okay, so make sure that just if you're not, even just because you may not be holding weight, doesn't mean that you don't allow that shoulder blade to rotate. You got to kind of build into that, figure out how to get that rotation set in. I think we have 2 more. And 1. Perfect. All right, set that down. Rotate the other direction. Line up those heels. Right toes ahead, left toes at an angle. Drive up through that left arm. Find all of your tightening. Make sure you're set, right? We don't need to rush in. Straight ahead, line up those hips. Then we rotate, slide down, come back up. chances are you're going to have one side maybe is a little more of a struggle than the other. You're going to feel those hips have to set in, your glutes have to set in, your quads. Relax through the neck. Pack into that back. So when you pack into the back, that's when your neck will relax. 8, 9, and 10. Good job. All right. Set that guy down a second. And we're going to go into a wide forward fold with a reach through. Okay, so get your feet as wide as you can. Pull your toes in a little, the heels out. From those hip creases, just push your hips back and let your chest drop forward. Okay, so you can start wherever you want. Plant your hands on the ground and then just let your body drop toward the ground. Okay, wherever works for you. Again, remember you can bring the floor up to you or narrow your feet, whatever feels better for your flexibility. Okay, so you can hang here, or what I'd like for us to try and do is to walk our hands back underneath as far as we can and reach. So you're going to get a little shoulder stretch, back stretch, hamstring stretch, and outer calf stretch. A lot going on here. Reach those arms through. 2 more deep breaths. And then walk your hands back forward. Plant your right hand on the ground in front of your face. Try to keep those hips level and then rotate through the left arm. Drop your left arm down, right in front of your face. Rotate, bring your right arm up. Drop your right hip toward the ground. So if your right arm's up, chances are your hips are shifting right. Try to pull those hips back to the left. You feel your entire low back set in. Maybe you get a little pop or two. All right, come on up. Bring those legs back together, and we get to move on. Figure 8s. So grab your kettlebell. Make sure here, this is actually a core move, lots of leg as well. So what you want to do is think about your pelvis, that bony structure. We're going to try to keep that guy neutral with the shoulders, okay? Hinging forward, grab deep into the core. You have to sit back on your heels, right? So there's an aspect of sitting back as well as dropping your chest forward. Then there's a little bit of shift side to side. So with your right arm, grab your bell, and we're going to shift it around our legs, figure 8. So you want to make sure the back stays flat and then keep tightening up in that rib cage. We're just going to go for a good little bit here. I'm not even going to worry about trying to count. This isn't really a counting day. It's more kind of like set in, feel the work. It's really healthy to allow yourself lower intensity days. I think we get caught up in this myth or assumption that we have to go hard and heavy every day. I'm not sure about you, but as much as I love working out, I can only do so many hard and heavy days. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and stand up. Double check everything. Give yourself a second. Sit it back down. Other way. So tighten in. Strong through that core. Lift up your chest. Draw through that rib cage. Feel the body. Recognize what's going on. If your low back is grabbing, why do you think? Are you rounding in your back? Are you sitting on your heels? Are you using your thighs to help hold support? Is your chest lifted up off your ribs? Are you flexing the core? Try not to just rely on the move to get the flexions. You're building your flexions to hold support. Keep it up, keep it up. We're getting close. 3, 2, and 1. All right, well done. Okay, one last move, and then we're going to finish with our stretch. We're going to do a Turkish Get Up. We are only going to do one per side at a time. Okay, so start with your left hand holding your dumbbell or your kettlebell. A dumbbell works fine, or zero weight works fine. Just pretend that you're holding weight. So your left hand is holding your weight or is up in the air. Your left knee is bent and your right leg's at an angle. All right, extend your right arm out. The first goal is to sit up. So grab deep into that core. You're going to curl in, sit up, plant your right hand on the ground, lift your hips. So at whatever point you want to stop and go back from where you've come from, feel free. Otherwise, tuck your right leg under, lift up nice and high, grab through your rib cage, bring your left leg around, and then stand all the way to the top. Right leg back, open your left knee, plant your right hand, swing that right leg under, drop down all the way to the ground. Then lower onto that left side, drop your bell, and now we get to go to the other side. Okay, right hand holds your weight, or your right hand's in the air. Right knee is bent, extend your left arm out. Curl up, bring that left hand back underneath your shoulder, lift your hips up high. Drag your left knee under, lift, close your leg, and stand. Perfect. Drop down, open. I know a lot of people don't really love Turkish get-ups, but apparently, or so they say, they're one of the most important exercises to get on a regular basis. So we're just going to go one more time each side. Left arm holds the weight, left leg up, right leg out at an angle. Flex, sit up, push up through those hips, use that core. Drive your knee under, lift, bring your leg around, step. Lunge back, woo. Open that leg out, plant your hand, extend, sit, and lower. All right. Other side. Right leg is up. Right hand holds the weight. Sit up, punch that arm up in the air. Lift through the hips. Knee tucks under. Close your leg. Stand. So this is a major core exercise. Being able to stand up with load overhead safely. It's just a great longevity exercise. All right. We're going to go ahead and flip it over for our stretching. Good job. We've been stretching a lot throughout today. So all we're going to worry about are our hip flexors. Bring that knee forward. And then, of course, our pigeon. Got to keep that pigeon going. Go ahead and take your foot across the mat and lower down. So taking a mellow day is important. It gives muscles a chance to recover, but we still kept our core engaged. We still kept the routine and habit of making it to the mat. Taking 30 minutes to give to our body to breathe a little deeper. All right, switch to the other side. As crazy as it is, a lot of people have a hard time giving themselves permission day in and day out to give to themselves. Or we fake ourselves out that we're giving to ourselves by pulling through the drive-through. It's been a tough day, or by pouring ourselves an extra glass of whatever at the end of the day. Worked hard, it was busy. This is me giving back to myself. Maybe we can rewire our thinking. All right, take your foot across to give back to ourselves by taking a couple deep breaths outside, by connecting with a friend or family member, by stretching, rolling, getting massage. See if your self-care or giving back to yourself or getting yourself a treat can encompass health and wellness as well. Why not? Kill two birds with one stone. Make sure those hips are squared off, so pull that right hip down, left hip back. Take another deep inhale and exhale. All right, plant into those hands. Drive those hips up and back one more time. Walk your hands back to the toes. Inhale, come all the way up. All right, I hope you join me tomorrow for day 60. Wrap it up. It's been a good series. I'll see you then.